Hi everyone, I'm Clem and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about books that really disappointed me, because either they were bad when I thought they were going to be amazing, or either they were completely different from what I thought, and so it was a letdown. So I have 6 books to talk about today, and let's get started. So the first book I'm going to talk about is actually The Sun is Also a Star. So this book is written by Nicola Yoon, and she's the one who wrote Everything Everything. So in The Sun is Also a Star, you're following two characters, Natasha and Daniel. Natasha is at the beginning of the book, you're learning that Natasha and her family are going to get expulsed from the United States at the end of the day, the day after. And Daniel is an Asian American, and he runs into Natasha when she's in the city, trying to save a family, and they fall completely in love. I mean, Natasha doesn't fall in love right away, but Daniel is really insta love for him. He's in love with Natasha. He follows her everywhere. He wants her to meet the family, to do everything, and Natasha is not like that. So what I didn't like about this book is that I thought I was going to love it as much as I loved Everything, but I didn't. And mainly because I didn't like the insta love, because basically in this book you're following Daniel and Natasha falling in love for one day, and I was not for it. Of course they're doing amazing things, they're going to eat in a Korean restaurant, and it's I was hungry just by reading the text. They're going to do some karaoke, and I love this scene. It's my favorite scene in the book. But I mean, the theme is really interesting because you're talking about a girl who's going to get expulsed from the country, and also Daniel has a very strict family, and so the two characters apart are really interesting, but their story together I didn't care at all. And a lot of people loved it, but me, I was not for this insta-love, this romance. And also in the book, at some time, it's at the same time a good point, but a bad point. At some time, you have the universe who has a chapter and is talking, and you're like, what is happening? It was interesting to have a different point of view, but at the same time, it didn't really make any sense. And the ending was... I don't know how I feel about the ending though. I'm not going to spoil, because if you want to read it, you could read it, but yeah, the ending was not really my thing. The second book I'm going to mention is Autobiography, and I've read this book in March, I think. Yes, it was in March. So in this book, you're following two boys, and I forgot the name right now because I'm a really bad booktuber and I didn't check my summary before doing this video. Yes, so you're following the main character, Tanner, and he's going into this class where they have to write a novel before the end of a semester. And in this class, he meets Sebastian, and he's a teacher assistant for this class. And Tanner falls in love with Sebastian without knowing if Sebastian is gay or not. But the most important part of the story is that Tanner is living in a Mormon town. Is it Mormon? Wait, I think it's Mormons, yes. In a Mormon town, and he's not a Mormon, but Sebastian is. And basically they're going to fall in love, but then there's going to be all the problems with Sebastian's being older than Tanner, Sebastian being a Mormon, and all those stuff. You see, I'm looking at my reviews, and I gave this book 3 out of 5 stars. And I'm talking about this book in this video just because I thought it was going to be amazing, because everyone was talking about it, giving it good reviews, saying that they loved it. So I was going pretty sure that I was going to enjoy it and have a good time. I'm not saying I didn't have a good time reading it, but it was a bit boring and slow at some point. And actually, it was a letdown because I thought I was going to enjoy it, but I didn't really care about the relationship between Tana and Sebastian. Actually, I'm not sure I really cared about anything in this book. Yeah, too many things, like I didn't really care about all the religious stuff when I think it was like a center point in the story, and I didn't care about it, so that was a bit problematic. But still, yeah, I didn't really like it. Next we have Soul Kill Girls, and I read this book last year, and right now I realize I don't even remember what it is about. I mean, I know like the plot lines, but if I had to tell you what it's about, it would be a bit complicated. So basically you have, I forgot their names and I'm not going to have them for this video. So you have girl number one, and girl number one arrives on this island and there's a city on it, like she just moved in, and she meets girls number two and they become friends. But the thing is that there is girl number three, and girls number three is a bit like the queen bee and also the bitch of the story, and she's really mean to girl number one and girl number two, but you can sense that there is some history between girl number two and girl number three. And after that, weird stuff are starting to happen. Like girl number one is starting to get visions about a beast that kills people. Also in the city there is this like old myth legend that there is a beast that kills girls, like, and you don't really understand. And actually girl number one can understand and hear the beast. Girl number two, like, a best friend was killed a few years before, if I remember well, and a lot of people say it was by the beast. And girl number three, I did not expect that, and I'm sorry, it has to be spoilers from now on because I need to talk about what's happening in this book so you understand why it was a disappointment. So girl number three is actually in relation, like, she's the one who killed all the girls, like, not all the girls, but also a family. Like, there is a curse in a family, like, I can't remember if it's a grandpa or, like, later, no, not later, but before, who made a pact with this beast and, like, to become rich, I think. And from that point, girls from the family had to, like, do some offerings to the beast, and the offerings are young girls. So the girl basically has to kill people in order to be free. And I think she killed a best friend also, some stuff like that. So this book was really complicated for me, like too complicated, because like the concept and the story was interesting, but at some point it didn't make sense, and I was so lost between the story of girl number one, who's really the most important, because like basically you understand that she's going to like beat the beast, like she's the one who can destroy it, and the story of girl number three, like, and when they meet it's so weird, I don't know. And girl number two is not really necessary, though she's doing, like, she's the one who allows girl number two and girl number three to meet. But yeah, once again, it was a book that a lot of people liked, and I didn't like it as much, so that's why I was disappointed, because I had high hopes for this book. Like, when I read the synopsis, which obviously I don't remember, as you can see, I was so into it. It sounded so intriguing, but it was way too, like, too intriguing, because I didn't understand a thing. I mean, like, I'm not dumb, but this book was complicated, and I don't even remember the ending. I mean, I think they kill the beast, and there is all this thing with, like, not butterflies, but I forgot the moths. I think it's how you say it, like moths, M-O-T-H-S, like, you know, the butterfly at night. And yeah, this book was way too weird, way too complicated, and I didn't like it. The next book I'm going to mention, a lot of people are not going to be happy with it, but it's Red, White and Royal Blue. Well, this book. I had to read it because it was the pick of the month for my book club, so I read it. And once again, it sounded cute, it sounded cheesy, something like I was going to read fast and enjoy, but at some point it was really cringy, and I don't like that. I don't like when a book makes me feel that, because at some point I was reading some scenes between the two main characters and I was like, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like what's happening. Like, it had nothing to do with the story, I think, but more with the writing styles. Like, at some point, I'm really sorry. I'm not saying I don't like the author. I'm just saying that sometimes the writing style felt a bit like a well-written fan fiction. So you see, that's why I didn't like it. And I think this book is on this list also mainly because a lot of people are saying it's the best book, it's amazing, it's so well done. And okay, it's your opinion and I respect it, but for me there are way better books out there, books that are more well written, and I don't know, this book was just not it. And okay, the relationship between like the son of the president of the United States and like a member of the royal family was so cliche, and I think the book was way too cliche for me to enjoy it. And yes, it was a letdown because it could have been good, but yeah, it sounded too much like a fan fiction for me. Next, I'm going to talk about Enchantée by Gita Trelease. So I read this book in March, and it was the pick of the month for my book club, and I was so into it when I first heard about this book, like last year. I think it came out last year, because it's happening during French Revolution and I'm French, and I was so happy to be able to read about French Revolution that is so important in our history. I was so ready to hear and to read about all the things I know. And also it's French Revolution and magic, and I love like when author are like writing part of his story but with magical stuff. I love it. I think it's so interesting. But this book was not it. First, there was no French Revolution. Like, they mention events about French Revolution 2 times in the story, and I was like, can we really say then that it's a French Revolution book? Like, when they said it was happening during French Revolution, I was expecting to be really in the French Revolution, not just to have the French Revolution as a background for the story, like just saying, yeah, it's happening at that time, you know, Versailles and people getting beheaded, which it is. And I was really disappointing about that because that's not what I wanted and what I expected. And then talking about magic, well, for most of the book, the only magic you have is that the main girl is like shape-shifting, not even shape-shifting, like using magic to dress up, and she's using magic to change cards in order to win money. And I was like, are you kidding me? Okay, that's magic, but it's lame. So really, like, the 2 things this book was supposed to give me, I had nothing, okay? It didn't deliver what it was supposed to deliver. And I was really upset about this book. I'm still going to read the second one though, because I want to know where the story is going to go, because right now I'm a bit lost. Maybe there's going to be more of the French Revolution in the second one, I hope, because I was really excited about that, but you know, it didn't do its job. And last but not least, I'm going to talk about They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. It was my first book by Adam Silvera, and it will be my last one. Okay, so if you don't know what They Both Die at the End is about, you're basically living in a society where when you're about to die, you receive a text saying that you will be dying in 24 hours. So like that, you know, and you can like say goodbye and do everything you want for your last day. And so at the beginning of the story, 2 teenage boys, like, yeah, I think they're like 17 or something like that, receive the text, and they're really different. And so they're alone, and there is this app when you can sign up saying that it's your last day and basically have a partner for the day when you can meet someone who's going to die also like in the day or soon, and you can like be friends for a day. And so they both subscribe on this website, and they get paired up. So they meet and they do a lot of stuff. Actually, they do really interesting stuff because no, actually I will talk about that later. And of course they fall in love, but they both die at the end, so you know that it's going to be sad and that nothing is going to happen basically. And what I didn't like is really dumb because it's in the title, and I should have known that this story was going to be insta love, because like they were going to die at the end, so they had just one day to fall in love, and of course they did, and I didn't like that. Because I feel like the more I am getting older, the more I despise insta love when it's not well done. And in this one, it was not. I don't know. I have so bad memories about this book. Some of them I can't even explain them. But first, insta love was way too... No, I was not okay with it because the two characters are really different. And I'm not saying you can't date someone that's different from you, but like you can say that it was not natural. At least in The Sun Is Also a Star, it's a bit natural, like it's better. But in this one, it was not like... I mean, they could have just stayed friends, like they didn't need it to be together. For me, it was like just Adam Silvera doing it like, oh, it's a love story and it's sad. But I mean, a friendship would have been as sad, because if you forge a friendship in one day with someone who you know is sharing the same thing, like living the same thing, I would have been heartbroken to see those two friends dying. But no, they had to fall in love. I mean, I have to talk about at least something that was good, is that the whole world Adam Silvera built around this concept of like text messages and the fact that you know when you will be dead, is that he created this place that sounds amazing, where basically it's for the people who are going to die, and where you can do anything you want, really anything. So I thought it was really interesting, all these things that were created to feel the last day of the people. But the main story was not good, really not good. I was so bored when I read it, and I remember I was listening to it, and I was listening to it so fast. I think it was like 1.8 or 2 with the speed, when usually I'm 1.5, because I wanted to end this book, like to finish it as fast as possible, because I didn't like it. And once again, a lot of people loved it, and I know a lot of people love Adam Silvera's book because like they're romance, and like they're like you're going to cry while reading them, or like you're going to be addicted to these books. But it was not my case, so I think that's why I was so disappointed. So yeah. So guys, that was it. That was 6 books that really were a letdown for me. And I think what I have learned today is that I have to stop following people's advice and really read a book just because I want to read it, and not just because people loved it. Like, or stop saying myself like, a lot of people loved it, so I'm going to love it, because I'm unique and I have my own taste, and it's not the same as everyone. So like I have to stop like going in the books with like some prejudice and like reviews of people in my head saying it's amazing, it's the best book in the world, or it sucks, you're not going to like it. I have to make my own opinion, okay? That's what I've learned today. Anyway, I hope you like this book. I'm interested to know what is a book that really disappointed you. Like, if you can tell me in the comments down below, I would love to know, because I'm curious. And I will see you next time. Bye, guys!